The alien girl's mother took one look at me and demanded I marry her daughter. Alex Carter had never expected that a simple diplomatic mission would turn into the most bewildering experience of his life. He had been trained for negotiation, for presenting the human perspective on technology, trade, and interstellar cooperation. But nothing in his training had prepared him for the moment when he stepped off the shuttle onto the surface of Lyra, the homeworld of the Lyrans, and was immediately swept into a world that seemed to belong more to a dream than reality. The planet was breathtaking. Towering trees with crystalline leaves reflected the twin suns in colors that no human eye could have imagined. Rivers of glowing liquid twisted through the landscape, casting gentle light on everything they touched. The air was crisp, carrying scents that reminded Alex of a forest after rain, but also something alien, almost sweet, that he couldn't identify. In the distance, cities floated in the sky, suspended by technology that seemed to defy physics itself. He could feel the hum of energy in the atmosphere, as if the planet itself was alive and aware of every movement. Alex adjusted the strap of his utility bag and took a deep breath. He had come to represent humanity, to show that humans could be trusted partners in the vast network of civilizations the Lyrans had already encountered. What he hadn't expected was to be met by a group of beings whose presence radiated authority and power. They were tall, taller than humans by a head, with elongated limbs and luminous eyes that seemed to look right into his mind. Their skin shimmered faintly in the sunlight, and every movement they made was precise, graceful, and deliberate. One of them stepped forward. She was older, regal, and carried herself with an elegance that Alex found almost intimidating. Her eyes, a deep shade of violet, fixed on him with a piercing gaze. Beside her stood a younger woman, around Alex's age by human standards, with a similar shimmer to her skin but a softer, more playful expression. "Welcome, human," the older woman said. Her voice resonated in a way that made Alex feel as though she were speaking directly into his mind rather than through sound alone. "I am Velira, mother of Lyra, and this is my daughter." She gestured to the younger woman. "Lyra." Alex felt as if she were examining him from every angle, seeing not just his appearance but something deeper, something that humans might call character or soul. Then, unexpectedly, she spoke. "You will marry my daughter." In our tradition, a guest who comes with knowledge and wisdom sufficient to aid our people, and whose spirit shows courage and honor, is bound to join in union with my offspring. You have shown these qualities merely by arriving here. Therefore, you will marry Lyra." He opened his mouth to protest, but no words came. He looked at Lyra for some hint of reassurance, but her face was calm, even amused, as if she had expected this all along. I think there must be some misunderstanding," Alex finally managed to say. "I am here as a diplomat, I am not. To refuse is considered an insult. To accept is to honor both your people and ours." Lyra stepped forward, her smile gentle. "Do not be afraid, Alex. Our mother's customs may seem strange to you, but they are not meant to harm. Consider this an opportunity to learn, to understand our world, and perhaps even to find friendship where you least expect it." I suppose I can try to understand," he said cautiously. "But marriage, that is not something humans decide lightly. You have passed the first test simply by existing here without fear. You will live among us, understand our ways, and prove your worth. Only then will the bond between you and my daughter be complete." The floors were smooth and reflective, and the air hummed with quiet energy. Servants moved silently, attending to the palace's needs without apparent effort. Lyra walked beside him, her presence calming. She explained small things about the palace, the way the light responded to emotion, the significance of the floating gardens, the meaning behind the patterns etched into the walls. Alex listened, fascinated, realizing that this world operated on principles entirely different from Earth's, yet it was governed by logic and purpose. As they walked, Velira spoke again. You will find that our society values more than strength or knowledge alone. We honor compassion, ingenuity, and the ability to see beyond one's own desires. If you wish to be part of this family, you must embrace these qualities. This was an opportunity unlike any other in human history, to understand, to learn, and perhaps to show that humans could rise to meet challenges beyond their world. When they arrived at Lyra's quarters, Alex was struck by the beauty and serenity of the space. Bioluminescent plants lined the walls, casting soft light on smooth surfaces. Pools of water reflected the ceiling, which seemed to stretch infinitely, showing moving patterns of stars and distant galaxies. It was peaceful, almost magical. Lyra turned to him with a small smile. "This will be your home while you learn our ways. Do not worry about comfort. We will provide everything you need. You need only focus on understanding and being true to yourself. Even if, even if I am still a little confused about the marriage part. You will have time to learn, and by the end, perhaps the idea will not seem so strange." He had met a girl who was both alien and strangely familiar, and a mother whose expectations were far beyond anything he had imagined. And now, he was expected to embrace a life and a bond that would define the rest of his days. Despite the fear, there was a sense of possibility. He could learn, adapt, and perhaps even thrive here. If humans had ever doubted their ability to meet the universe on equal terms, Alex knew he had a chance to prove it, not through force or dominance, but through courage, intelligence, and respect. He glanced at Lyra, who was tending to a small garden of glowing plants, her movements precise and calm. There was something in the way she approached life, curious, thoughtful, and kind, that gave him hope. Perhaps this journey was not just about diplomacy or duty. Perhaps it was also about connection, understanding, and the possibility of friendship and maybe, in time, something more. Alex lay back on a soft platform, staring at the shifting stars above. He felt a mix of fear, anticipation, and excitement. This was the first step of a journey that would challenge him, teach him, and change him forever. And whether he was ready or not, he had entered a world where humanity would be tested, and perhaps where humans could shine brighter than anyone had imagined. As sleep claimed him, he allowed himself one small thought. Maybe this alien world, with its glowing forests, floating cities, and extraordinary people, could become a second home. Maybe here, humans and Lyrans alike could discover that courage, honor, and heart were universal values, and that even across the stars, connection could be found in the most unexpected ways. Alex woke early, the soft glow of Lyra's quarters spilling across the floor. The bioluminescent plants had a gentle rhythm to their light, almost like a heartbeat, and the air carried a calm energy that seemed to encourage thought and reflection. He rubbed his eyes and realized that, for the first time since arriving on Lyra, he had slept peacefully. The weight of Valira's demands still lingered in his mind, but it no longer felt oppressive. Instead, it seemed like a challenge he could rise to meet. Lyra entered quietly, her movements as fluid as the glowing rivers outside. She carried a small device that Alex could only describe as a learning tool, though it was unlike anything he had seen on Earth. It hovered beside her as she moved, projecting holographic images of plants, creatures, and buildings around the palace. "Good morning, Alex," she said softly. "Today will be your first lessons in Lyran life. Do not be afraid, it is not punishment, only guidance." "Then let us begin." Instead, he had to learn subtle cues, eye movements, slight gestures, and the tone of voice, which carried more meaning than words alone. "You must understand not only what we say, but what we mean," Lyra explained. "Our words are only half the message. The rest is in intention." He misread a gesture and caused a small stack of floating data cubes to topple, earning a soft laugh from Lyra. "Not quite," she said gently, "but mistakes are part of learning. Even the wisest Lyrans fail sometimes." Alex touched a glowing vine and it shifted toward him, as if curious about his presence. Lyra demonstrated a technique to communicate with the plants, showing him how to focus and direct attention without words. Alex tried, concentrating with all his might. At first, nothing happened and he felt frustrated, but gradually the vine's glow intensified, leaning slightly toward him. A small thrill ran through him. He had accomplished something, however minor, through effort and focus. Lyra's smile made him feel as if he had earned a small victory. Over the next few days, Alex's lessons expanded. He learned to navigate the floating corridors of the palace, to interpret Lyran's signals, and to anticipate the needs of others around him. Every task required careful thought, patience, and respect. He began to see the wisdom in Valera's insistence on marrying only those who could demonstrate courage, honor, and understanding. Despite the lessons, Alex's most challenging moments came with Valera herself. She would often observe him silently, testing his reactions in subtle ways. One morning she asked him to participate in a ceremonial ritual honoring the life of the planet itself. Alex was hesitant. He did not know the precise steps, the chants, or even how to show respect in the Lyran way. "You must not fear error," Valera said, her violet eyes fixed on him. "The planet feels intention. Show sincerity and it will respond. Show hesitation and it will test you." He was part of something greater than himself, and for the first time he felt a sense of belonging on this alien world. Valera's expression softened. "You have done well," she said. "Your respect for life is genuine. That is what matters." He began to understand the Lyran philosophy. Strength alone was meaningless without empathy, knowledge without purpose was empty, and courage was not measured in battle, but in the willingness to act when it mattered most. Lyra and Alex grew closer as they explored the palace and the surrounding forests. They shared stories of their worlds, finding similarities despite the vast differences. Lyra laughed at Alex's descriptions of Earth's crowded cities and chaotic traffic, while Alex marveled at the delicate balance of technology and nature on Lyra. They debated science, ethics, and philosophy, learning from one another with curiosity and respect. One afternoon, as they walked along a river that glowed like liquid light, Lyra paused. "Do you ever wonder if your world could be like this?" she asked. "If humans could live in harmony with nature and technology together? And perhaps someday, humans and Lyrans could share knowledge freely, not as strangers but as partners." He began to feel respect, and perhaps even affection for Lyra, not as a duty, but as someone he genuinely wanted to know and protect. The lessons, however, were not without difficulty. One day, Alex was asked to assist in the palace's energy chambers, where the planet's power systems were monitored and regulated. A minor error could have disastrous consequences. Alex focused, carefully adjusting controls, and he noticed subtle signs that something was off, an imbalance in the energy flow that could cause harm if not corrected. He hesitated, then acted, combining his human knowledge of engineering with Lyra's guidance. Together, they corrected the imbalance, stabilizing the system. Valera observed quietly, then nodded approvingly. "You see," she said afterward, "it is not enough to follow instructions. One must understand, anticipate, and act with wisdom. Today, you have done all three. You have shown courage, intelligence, and respect. These are the qualities that honor a Lyran family." He was beginning to see that this world, with its strange customs and advanced technology, was not trying to intimidate him. It was teaching him. It was testing him not to belittle him, but to elevate him. Lyra noticed his growing confidence. "You are learning quickly," she said one evening as they walked along a terrace that overlooked the glowing forests. "You will find that our challenges are never truly about the task. They are about how you approach life, how you see the world, and how you care for those around you. You are brave, not just in action but in heart." Alex began to understand that this was the essence of Lyran life: balance, empathy, and connection. Valera continued to observe, often silently, but her approval was growing. She had tested Alex through the rituals, the lessons, and the responsibilities of daily life. Each time he acted with honesty, courage, and care, he proved himself not just to her, but to the planet itself. One evening, as the twin suns set and painted the sky with colors Alex could not name, Valera approached him. "You have done well," she said simply. "You have learned more in a short time than many humans could in a lifetime. You have shown patience, courage, and respect. You are not only worthy of our friendship, but you have begun to honor the bond that ties you to Lyra." Lyra joined them, her hand brushing against his. "Tomorrow," she said softly, "you will face your next challenge, but tonight rest. You have done enough for one day." He had learned much, but he knew the journey was only beginning. The bond between him and Lyra, between humans and Lyrans, was growing, and with it, a sense of purpose he had never felt before. As he closed his eyes, he allowed himself one thought. Perhaps this was what humans were meant to discover. Not just the stars, not just technology, but the courage, wisdom, and heart to rise to the challenges of the universe. And perhaps, with Lyra by his side, he could learn to meet those challenges with strength, honor, and compassion. The glowing sky stretched above him, infinite and full of possibilities, and Alex felt, for the first time since leaving Earth, that he was exactly where he was meant to be. Alex had grown accustomed to life among the Lyrans. Every day brought new lessons, challenges, and discoveries. He had learned to move gracefully through the floating corridors of the palace, to understand the subtle gestures and intentions behind words, and to communicate with both the people and the living environment around him. But no lesson could have prepared him for the danger that arrived one quiet morning. He was walking with Lyra along a terrace that overlooked the glowing forests when the sky suddenly darkened. The twin suns, which had bathed the world in soft golden light, were blotted out by the shadow of a massive fleet. Ships unlike any Alex had ever seen descended from the atmosphere, dark and angular, moving with precision and speed. Lyra's eyes widened. "The Drevans," she whispered. "They have come." Valera appeared almost immediately, her presence commanding and calm. "Alex," she said, her voice steady, "you have been tested in many ways, but the trial you face now will demand more than knowledge or courage. It will demand action. Your understanding of human engineering, combined with what you have learned from us, may give us an advantage. You will coordinate with Lyra and our forces. Do not fear, only act with wisdom and courage." He would show that humans could rise to challenges beyond their home world. Lyra guided him to the palace's control center, a vast chamber filled with hovering consoles, glowing maps, and streams of energy that pulsed like the heartbeat of the planet itself. Alex marveled at the technology, feeling both awe and urgency. "The Drevans will strike quickly," Lyra said. "Their goal is to breach our defenses and take our technology. We cannot let them succeed. You must use your knowledge of human strategies and problem-solving to assist us." Unlike Earth, where weapons were often destructive, the Lyrans relied on containment, redirection, and the natural energy of the planet to protect themselves. He realized immediately that any error could destabilize the system and endanger countless lives. "First," he said, "we need to create barriers at key points along the energy channels. If we redirect the Drevans' energy, we can slow them down and protect the cities." Alex's human intuition combined with Lyran precision to create a defense plan that was as clever as it was daring. He felt his heart pound with adrenaline as he realized the lives of millions might depend on their success. The first attack came with a sudden burst of energy that lit up the sky like lightning. Dreven ships attempted to breach the outer shields, firing beams that could cut through stone and metal. The Lyran energy barriers flared in response, shifting and adapting under Alex and Lyra's direction. Alex shouted instructions, his voice steady despite the chaos. "Divert the northern channel. Focus energy on the eastern flank. Keep the shield stable." Alex froze for a moment, then reacted instinctively. "Lyra, we need to redirect the main energy conduit, now." Breathing heavily, Alex turned to Lyra. That was too close. Alex and Lyra coordinated every move, predicting their patterns, adjusting energy flows, and redirecting power to where it was needed most. Alex marveled at the Lyran's ability to work seamlessly with the planet itself, sensing shifts in energy and responding instantly. But he also realized that humans had something unique to offer: creativity, unpredictability, and the ability to improvise under pressure. At one critical moment, a massive Driven ship targeted Lyra directly, sending a beam toward her position. Without thinking, Alex leapt forward, using a combination of human agility and Lyran energy shielding to protect her. The beam struck the barrier and the chamber shook violently, but Lyra was unharmed. "You saved me," she said, her voice filled with awe and gratitude. I thought I would be caught." Their ships, though powerful, were not prepared for the combined strategy of human and Lyran ingenuity. Alex realized that they had turned the tide not through sheer force, but through clever use of knowledge, adaptation, and teamwork. When the last Driven ship disappeared into the distance, the palace erupted in relief. Lyran citizens cheered, and Valera approached Alex and Lyra. Her expression was solemn but proud. "You have proven yourself today," she said, her violet eyes softening. "Not only have you shown courage, but you have demonstrated wisdom, adaptability, and heart. You are more than worthy of our trust and more than worthy of Lyra's hand." He had faced an enemy more formidable than anything he had encountered on Earth, and he had survived, not just with skill but with courage, respect, and intelligence. He had proven, in the heat of battle, that humans could rise to challenges beyond their world. Lyra stepped closer, her eyes shining. "You were amazing," she said. "I knew you had courage, but seeing it in action, it is something else entirely. Today, you proved that humans are capable of more than I imagined. You have courage, wisdom, and heart. You are not just a visitor here anymore. You are part of this world. I want to learn more, to protect this world, and to be worthy of your trust." In the vast universe, humans could rise to meet challenges, not by fighting alone, but by working together, learning and showing respect for life itself. And in that moment, as he held Lyra's hand and felt the energy of the planet around them, Alex knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be. He had faced a trial unlike any other, and he had emerged stronger, wiser, and more connected than ever. Valera approached them once more, her expression soft. "You have passed this trial, Alex, but remember, life will continue to test you. The universe is vast and challenges will come. Continue to learn, to act with wisdom, and to honor those around you. That is the true path of a protector. Together, we are stronger than any challenge that comes our way." He had begun as a visitor from Earth, uncertain and cautious, but he had grown into someone who could rise to the challenges of an alien world and perhaps help humanity reach new heights among the stars. And as he looked into Lyra's eyes, he realized that the journey was far from over. There would be more tests, more lessons, and more challenges. But for the first time, he felt ready, not just as a human, but as someone capable of standing with the Lyrans as a partner, a protector, and perhaps something more. The glowing sky stretched above him, full of infinite possibilities, and Alex knew that whatever came next, he would face it with courage, honor, and heart. The aftermath of the Driven attack left Lyra's world buzzing with activity. Repairs were underway in the cities, the floating gardens were being tended, and the energy conduits that had been strained during the battle were slowly stabilizing. Yet, despite the work, a sense of calm and hope had settled over the planet. Alex could feel it, the quiet hum of life continuing, stronger than before. Valera summoned Alex and Lyra to her chambers. The matriarch's presence was as commanding as ever, but there was a warmth in her eyes that Alex had never seen before. He felt both nervous and honored to be in her presence once again. "You have done more than I expected," Valera began, her voice steady yet gentle. "You have faced our customs, learned our ways, and proven your courage and wisdom in the face of danger. You have acted with honor, and you have earned the respect of our people." Therefore, it is time to formalize your bond, not merely as allies but as partners in life. Alex, she said softly, we have faced so much together. I cannot imagine standing by anyone else's side. If you choose to accept, I will be honored to share this bond with you. He realized that what Valera demanded had grown into something meaningful. This was not a forced tradition anymore. This was a chance to embrace friendship, respect, and a partnership built on mutual trust. I accept, Alex said, his voice firm but filled with sincerity. I promise to honor this world, its people, and you, Lyra, with all that I can give. You are part of this family, part of this people, and part of the hope for our shared future. The floating terraces of the palace were adorned with shimmering lights. The forests glowed with energy that pulsed in time with the music of the planet, and Lyrans from all corners of the world gathered to witness the union. Alex found himself both nervous and excited. He had faced battles, learned foreign customs, and survived trials that tested his courage and intelligence. Yet this moment, filled with beauty, hope, and commitment, felt just as important. It was a reminder that strength was not only shown in battle, but also in understanding, trust, and heart. Lyra took his hand as they walked together to the center of the ceremony. Her touch was reassuring, and he could feel the energy of the planet responding to them, glowing brighter, as if celebrating their union. Valera stood before them, her presence commanding attention. Today, she said, we celebrate more than a bond between two individuals. We celebrate the connection between humanity and the Lyrans, a bond of trust, respect, and hope. May your partnership inspire understanding and cooperation between our worlds. As the ceremony concluded, Alex looked around at the gathered Lyrans. They were radiant with life, glowing softly in celebration. He realized that in facing the trials and challenges of this world, he had earned not only their trust but their admiration. Humanity, he thought, could rise to meet the universe not through dominance, but through courage, intelligence, and empathy. After the formalities, Lyra led Alex through the palace gardens. The air was filled with the soft hum of energy, the scent of glowing flowers, and the quiet whisper of the trees. Alex felt at peace here, more than he ever had on Earth. You've grown so much, Lyra said, walking beside him, not just in skill or knowledge but in understanding. You've proven yourself worthy of this world, of its people, and of the bond we share. It's about understanding, respecting, and connecting with others. He worked alongside them to repair the damage from the Driven attack, improve the energy systems of the planet, and develop new technologies that combined human ingenuity with Lyran science. The bond between him and Lyra deepened. They shared quiet moments in the glowing forests, laughed over small experiments with plants and energy flows, and discussed the possibilities of the future. Alex felt a sense of purpose and belonging he had never experienced on Earth. One afternoon, as they watched the twin suns set over the floating cities, Alex turned to Lyra. I never imagined I would find this sense of home, connection, and purpose, so far from Earth. But now I understand. Humans can rise to meet the universe. We can adapt, learn, and thrive. And sometimes we find friends and even love in the most unexpected places. You have done well, Alex. You have proven that humanity has the courage, wisdom, and heart to rise to challenges beyond their world. Lyra, you have chosen wisely. Together, you will lead by example, showing that cooperation and respect are stronger than fear and conflict. He had faced trials, learned new ways of thinking, fought alongside Lyra to protect an alien world, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more confident than he had ever been. And now, he had been accepted fully into the heart of a civilization far beyond Earth, a symbol of what humans could achieve when they embraced courage, respect, and connection. As night fell and the glowing forest shimmered under the stars, Alex and Lyra stood side by side, looking out over the city. The energy of the planet pulsed gently beneath their feet, a reminder of the living world they had fought to protect. We did it, Alex said softly. Not just the battle or the lessons, but everything. We've shown that humans and Lyrans can stand together. And now, standing on this alien world beside Lyra, he knew that the future was full of possibilities. The ceremony, the trials, the battles, they were all part of a journey that had changed him. He was no longer just a human visitor. He was a partner, a protector, and a symbol of humanity's potential. And in the heart of Lyra's world, surrounded by glowing forests, floating cities, and the warmth of a civilization that had once seemed so alien, Alex found something he had never expected: a home, a purpose, and a bond that would last a lifetime. As the twin suns set one final time over the palace terraces, Alex looked at Lyra and smiled. No matter what comes next, we face it together. And I know we can rise to meet anything. He had journeyed across the stars, faced danger and uncertainty, and discovered that courage, wisdom, and heart could unite even the most different of beings. And as he stood beside Lyra, he knew that this was not just an ending but a beginning, a future filled with hope, connection, and endless possibilities. The universe stretched out before them, vast and full of challenges. But for the first time, Alex knew that humans could rise to meet those challenges, and not alone. They could rise together with courage, respect, and heart, lighting a path for all who came after them. And in the glow of Lyra's world, amidst floating cities, shimmering forests, and the soft hum of life itself, Alex Carter finally understood what it truly meant to belong and to shine.